Good morning, members. I hope you're well. Just Sam here. It's currently Monday morning. It's around 7 a.m. and you see behind me that the sun is making an appearance somewhere up there this morning. Lots going on out on the golf course today. We're doing a full rake on the bunkers. We're cutting greens, cutting approaches, cutting runoffs. We're spraying the greens and approaches as well with some fertiliser and some plant growth regulator. I'm really pleased with the recovery so far from renovations. The fertiliser today is just going to help kick it on even further. But recovery on the whole on greens is really good. I'm just currently on the first, and you can see that the majority of the grading lines are filling in really nicely. We've got a little bit of anthracnose dotted about the greens. This is just a stress-related disease, which we have sprayed for ahead of renovations, but I was expecting a little bit to come in anyway. So the fertiliser again today will help that, and a little bit of stress alleviation on there as well will obviously help that as well. I just wanted to touch on renovations as well. For those of you who follow other golf courses on social media or other avenues such as that, a lot of clubs are doing renovations at the minute, and there's a lot that I've seen that are talking about recovery 7 to 10 days type thing. But it's important to remember what we've done versus what other clubs are doing as well. So we've used a sand injection gradient, which is really intrusive to the surface. The reason we've used that is our organic matter levels are too high for where we really want them. So therefore, doing a sand injection gradient means we can rip out that thatch layer in the top 2 centimetres and replace with neat sand. Some golf clubs that haven't got such an issue with their top layer of organic matter, they may just top dress and solid tine, which is what we do in the spring, and therefore recovery is a lot quicker. However, doing the solid tine and top dressing, you're not as effective as we've been with our grading work. And obviously the results we had from last year worked really well into the autumn, over the winter and into the spring. So for us, doing it again this year is just going to pay dividend for the next season, and the next winter and season coming up next year. So it's really important to remember that a lot of other golf clubs have done minimal aeration top dressing work where we have been really intrusive. The way I can relate it to is maybe like keyhole surgery on your knee versus open knee surgery. I guess when you do open knee surgery you can do a lot more, but recovery is going to be a little bit longer than the keyhole. That's maybe a little bit of a way to look at it. But please bear in mind that from my side, I'm really pleased with the recovery. Like I say, a little bit of anthracnose knocking around, but nothing I'm overly concerned about. Also today on the golf course, we have got our spray contractors, complete weed control therein, spraying off some gorse in our heather areas. We're starting down on the 14th carry, moving across to right hand side of 14, then down towards 15, 16 as well, and then we'll probably come back up towards sort of 2, 3, 4 area today. So they're in today spraying gorse, so you may see them out on the golf course. Real good job to get done. Over the last 3 years we've been doing a lot of areas of gorse. I think the first area we did was the 9th carry, to try and keep on top of the gorse there, which has worked really well. So to get another day's labour on that is going to be really good for us going forward, and obviously our heather areas to improve. On that note, obviously the heather is flowering, the ling heather is flowering at the minute, and what's great to see is we've got so many little pockets of heather just popping up here, there and everywhere. It's lovely to see. What it means from our side is we've got a real good seed bank there of heather, so therefore if we just do some more remedial work on top, it's going to be great for us going forward. Maybe going forward in the next few years we can look at some heather scrapes, that type of thing, because we've got a seed bank there, we've got a seed bed there. So please have a look at it next time you're out on the golf course. There's lots of little patches, lots of little islands of heather just showing their face, which is fantastic. Also, one thing to mention, obviously we're coming towards the end of August. I'm sure you've noticed the mornings are a little bit darker than they were a couple of weeks ago, but we're getting a little bit of dollar spot on tees and approaches. We had the same last year. The issue with dollar spot on tees and approaches is to spray a fungicide on these surfaces, it's going to triple our fungicide budget. We keep the greens clean of dollar spot with our fungicide. However, tees and approaches, we need to focus more on our cultural practices. We're always going to get a little bit of dollar spot, but if you see these white patches appear on our approaches and greens and tees, approaches and tees, that's what it is. Just a little bit of dollar spot coming in. Like I say, we had a bit last year, but it's going to be par for the course, I think, going forward year on year now. So that's it from me. Hope everyone's enjoying their golf, and we'll see you on the course.